we got to get into, since he spoke so much about LA Knight, pretty much they put him in a position that we kind of exactly talked about here on the show yesterday that they needed to do with LA Knight. Somehow, with LA Knight and the WWE Universe, they got to find a way to get sympathy on LA Knight, make him human, where he's just not a cadence and a tagline. They set that up for LA Knight as perfectly as you could do last night. I guess the only question is, when will we see LA Knight next?
Hopefully not for a little while. I can't see him next week. Okay? Just to give you some, context here, remember how we felt about seeing Moxley the very next Wednesday after Hangman Page had defeated him, and we were like, that really doesn't look good for Hangman Page.
Yep.
Conversely, you don't want to see LA Knight back on TV next Monday after he took the ass whooping that he did, especially the finality of it. The last thing we saw, the tsunami bomb from the top of, some crates onto the hood of a car. And then on WWE's Twitter site, after the show went off the air, we saw, I don't know if you saw this, Dave, but we saw LA Knight strapped down to the gurney, neck brace on, being put in the ambulance driving away. Pierce was there, Jessica Carr was there, lots of other officials from WWE were there. Obvious concern for LA Knight. That tells me, take care, brush your hair for a little while, which I think is in LA Knight's best interest.
If I was the WWE, I would wait till the Royal Rumble to bring LA Knight into January. We got the Rumble at the end of January, a little over 6 weeks. I would keep him off of TV for that long because, he loses to Gunther on Friday. He loses to Logan Paul last night on Raw, and then he gets the beatdown. Give it time. Give it a month and a half. Why not? Keep him off of TV for a substantial amount of time. Get the fans to miss him, and then see where it goes.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and people forget real quick. After the openings, LA Knight made the save for Rey Mysterio. I picked up my Twitter machine and I said that was a great bounce back promo and segment for LA Knight. I thought it was very strong. That was a good mix of good creative and LA Knight knocking the creative out of the park. Then LA Knight says, I want to have a match with you, Logan Paul. I don't want it next week, next Friday. Your sister's ass, I want it tonight. Boom. We get the match later in the night. Now, when everything is said and done and Raw goes off the air, I pick up my Twitter machine again, and I said that this was a very strong night for, I mentioned Gunther, I mentioned Braun, and I mentioned LA Knight. And my Twitter feed just, boom, with the comments. How was this good for LA Knight? How could this possibly be good for LA Knight? You don't know what you're talking about. Now, Dave, when I say it was a great night for LA Knight, do you agree or disagree? And if you agree, do you understand?
I won't even so much agree. I would say it was the perfect night for LA Knight. Like, the last thing I wanted to see last night was LA Knight get a win back. Like, I was actually afraid that they put him in a match with Logan Paul and somehow, some way he'd win that match or, came out looking strong. Because then you'd be just going back to square one with LA Knight. Having him lose twice in a span of just a few days and get that beatdown, that means to me, Bully, that they have something big on the horizon for LA Knight. The last thing LA Knight happened was him being buried. To me, they have major plans for. I am more hopeful for LA Knight this morning than I was yesterday morning coming on the air with you.
And there's that word again, hope. Wow, we have hope for LA Knight? How the hell can we have hope for LA Knight after he just tapped to Gunther? It's because everything that was presented last night worked. Pencil to paper, paper to producer, producer to talent. And all of the majority of the props from last night go to LA Knight, because at the end of the day, he had to totally forget about the tapping to Gunther, the bad night that he had, that he acknowledged. And I love that he acknowledged his bad night. He acknowledged things haven't been going so great for me lately. Good job, babyface. You're just being honest. Even the best teams in pro sports hit bad times, and they go, hey, you know what? We suck lately. We need to be better. When Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were beating down LA Knight in the back, and they had put him through the table, and it looked like they were walking away, and they turned around, and one of them said, he's still moving. And you heard LA Knight. He didn't yell this, but it was just all audible enough. And he goes, that's all you got? And I went, atta boy. I was fucking rooting for LA Knight right there. I was happy. Come on. That's the best you got? Come kick my ass some more. I've heard that a million times in pro wrestling. We've seen that, okay? The old, come on, Rocky Balboa telling Apollo Creed, come on, is that the best you got? And Apollo's like, geez Louise, what's it going to take to keep this guy down? I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about that one moment in time, because I thought LA Knight did a great job with it last night. And I felt for him. He was able in that little moment to allow me to emotionally connect to him because he showed some guts. Yeah, kick my ass. But I ain't tapping twice. By him saying, come on, is that the best you got? That's basically saying, nah, I'm not tapping out twice. You're going to have to really do something bad for me to give up tonight. I gave up the other night, but I ain't giving up tonight. And until they put him in an ambulance, he had no choice. Last night was, so I hope to everybody that, let me go deeper into this. Can I give you the full picture of why last night was good for LA Knight? It's because of the way it started and the way it ended. LA Knight made the save for one of the most beloved talents in the history of the WWE, Rey Mysterio. You can't find a fan or a wrestler to say a bad word about Rey Mysterio. Right?
No, he's nobody has a bad word to say about Rey Mysterio.
Logan Paul is just beating the shit out of Rey Mysterio. They're dogpiling on the rabbit. Here comes LA Knight to make the save. I wish he was sprinting and not trotting, but whatever. So here comes LA Knight to make the save. Makes the save for Rey Mysterio. Everybody popped for LA Knight's music last night. He cuts a good promo. He says, I want you tonight. How dare you put your hands on a legend like Rey Mysterio? Babyface 101. Rah, rah, rah. Let's fight. Wow. That was strong. Simple, basic, to the point. Keep it simple, stupid. It worked. If that was the only thing I would have seen from LA Knight last night, it would have worked and I would have been happy. Now we get the match with Logan Paul. How many guys did it take to beat LA Knight last night?
It took everybody.
5 guys. You know how I know? They reminded me on commentary. It took 5 guys to beat him. Yes, LA Knight lost, but it took 5 guys to beat him. That's commentating, driving it home that this is not a quote-unquote normal LA Knight loss. If these 5 guys weren't involved, LA Knight had a real shot of defeating Logan Paul. So it took 5 guys, and then the beatdown. The carrying him out, the putting him through the table in the back. I felt sympathy for LA Knight. I felt hopeful for him. I felt sympathetic towards him. Today I'm saying to myself, wow, I hope LA Knight is okay. But you know what I'm more importantly saying, Dave?
What?
I can't wait till LA Knight comes back and gets his hands on Bronson Reed and the rest of the Vision. And that's why last night was a great night for LA Knight. Yeah!
I thought, Bully, that the main focus of last night's show was on LA Knight. From him coming out during Rey Mysterio, him being in the main event against Logan Paul, him getting the beat down from the Vision, the hooded figure giving him the curb stomp. Like to me, it's like, all right, we got to knock this guy not down to the bottom rung of the ladder. We got to knock him completely off the ladder because the fans are going to be invested on each rung he climbs to get back to the top of the ladder. For me, LA Knight, for his entire run in the WWE, and I give LA Knight credit for getting the fans' attention, getting the fans to chant his taglines, getting the fans to pop for him when he comes out. But we've talked about this whole time. He needs to do something that he's never really been able to do in his 20 years of professional wrestling, which is to connect with the audience on a human level. Yes, he's been able to get fans to chant yeah and dummy and all those things throughout TNA and the NWA and the WWE. But the one thing he hasn't done is connect emotionally with the audience. After I watched last night, I was like, thank God, that's exactly what the WWE is going to set LA Knight up to do. Now we're going to have to see if he's going to be able to do it. But I feel like the creative, they have set the tone for him that when he comes back, Bully, whenever that is, and you're right, it can't be next week, it can't be the week after. When he comes back, it's going to be monster. It's going to be monster. And it's going to have to him fight his way back to be just where he was before that match with Gunther. They set him up perfectly. And now, Bully, instead of looking at LA Knight and being, come on, man, now he had us rooting for him last night. So what do you think it's going to be like when he finally returns? What I felt last night was all about LA Knight.
The comment that I'm about to make is a little bit Monday morning quarterback, which I try never to do. But in this case, I have no choice. There was a part of last night that I felt they could have called an audible on. Like we talked yesterday about the art of working and calling shit on the fly. With Netflix, you have the benefit of calling stuff on the fly in the audible because there's no set hard time. I got a little concerned during the beatdown of LA Knight. After the second tsunami bomb, a portion of the audience, an audible portion of the audience, started chanting one more time. And I was like, oh no, please don't let this catch on, because they've been doing such a great job with LA Knight all night long that I wouldn't want to see it come to the grinding halt because people just want to see another tsunami bomb because the tsunami bomb is becoming cool. The chants died off because I think the chants came to an end. But I almost would have liked to have seen more violence to LA Knight. I wanted to see it get uncomfortable to the point where they stop chanting one more time because it's like, oh dear God, this is enough. You're going to really, really hurt this guy. I know it's sports entertainment, but you give somebody that many tsunami mobs, you might break a rib. That's the only place where I wish it went a little farther. That's just a tiny little thing that I heard and that I saw that I thought I'd bring up this morning.
No, it's a great point. And looking back at it, you probably could have gone a little bit. It's better to be excessive in that place than to scale it back. But I think that's a big reason is you're right. There's always going to be a portion of the fans that that are going to chant that no matter who they're doing it. They could have been doing it to Cody Rhodes, and there would have been a section of fans that would have chanted one more time. The other thing is, hey, work needs to be done on LA Knight, Bully, because he hasn't had that opportunity to make that connection with the audience on a human level. So that's why you probably get a chant like that, because we've never seen LA Knight in that predicament before. But I agree with you. You could have gone a little bit more excessive to the point, like, even if the fans were chanting one more time, it would have been like, all right, enough is enough. That's enough. But to me, I think they have LA Knight in a fantastic position for when he comes back. Now it's up to LA Knight. I don't want the, let me tell you something, and the LA Knight, yeah. I want something that comes from the heart when he comes back.
Let's not just leave it up to LA Knight. It's up to creative to put LA Knight in the same type of position when he comes back as they put him in last night. And then it's up to LA Knight to take what creative gave him and knock it out of the park. Now we're like, yes, we're using word like hope for LA Knight. We're using words like sympathy for LA Knight, which is what you want. Keep him off TV for a little while. Make the people want to see him come back. They will, if they play this right, people will forget about the fact that LA Knight tapped to Gunther. From Friday to Monday, he went from bitch to badass because he tapped like a bitch and he fought like a badass last night.
Bully, you always said it. The WWE can make you forget. It wasn't that long ago that fans were calling into the show saying that Gunther was being buried. That, what's going on with Gunther? Gunther's being buried. Look at Gunther now. Look at Gunther right now.
How about this one? How can you take Gunther seriously when he lost to Pat McAfee? Oh, my God. The ignorance of comments like that.